It's time for Betty Boop Got the Scoop. Information about national and local entertainment. And now, here's Betty.
What's up, y'all? This is Betty Boo, bringing you local and national news of interest. Betty Boo has an exclusive interview with Mr. Evans Ray Jr., who was pardoned by President Obama before he left office. Mr. Ray was given a life sentence for a crime that even the judge didn't agree with. Here is part one of his story. How does it feel to be called by your name instead of a number?
It's still surreal, Miss Williams. To be totally honest with you, I still carry my jail ID in my pocket.
Do you remember your number?
459016.
But that's not who you are anymore. You are Evans Ray Jr. That's your birth name, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What year were you incarcerated, and how long was your term to serve in prison?
December the 16th, 2004, the FBI, DEA, Safe Street Task Force, a whole lot of different agencies did a sweep of about 12 homes. They said that we were involved in a conspiracy. It was December the 16th, 2004, one of the coldest days of the year. I remember it like it was yesterday. I opened the door for them. They didn't have to knock my door in. My kids were there. My wife was there. They laid everybody on the floor. They searched the house looking for drugs. They never found any. I was the owner of two businesses. They went in both of those places, never found anything. They did find two firearms, though. Both of them were registered because my wife would be the one who picks up the money from the shops. And as you know, having a barber shop is cash money. It's not checks or anything like that.
Here, this happened December 16th, 2004. They raided your home. They came in your home. So what was your charge?
I was in a, they said they wouldn't tell me right then. They only said that I was in a conspiracy to sell narcotics, cocaine.
Okay. That's crack cocaine or just cocaine?
Yes, ma'am.
Crack.
That's crack cocaine. It's funny that you say that, Miss Williams, because what the DEA did with me, and I'm jumping around a little bit, but just so that your audience will get an understanding of what really happened and how you have to watch who you call your friend.
Yes, you do.
What happened was the informant that they sent to me, he came and he asked for some drugs. I told him that I wasn't selling drugs. I'm running my business.
Mm-hmm.
He came about 4 times. On the last time he came and he said that his life and his family's life was in danger.
Wow.
I said I had a friend, and I see if he'd do it for you. Well, my friend didn't want to meet him, so he gave it to me. I took it to the guy, the informant.
Right.
It was powder cocaine.
Uh-huh.
When he took the powder cocaine back to the DEA told them, Drug Enforcement Agency told them, no, we can't give them life with powder. You got to get crack.
Wow.
All this is documented. This in the FD 306s and everything. So he came back again and said he had messed the powder up. Could I get him crack?
Wow. So it's pretty much like a setup.
It was entrapment. That's the judge that you saw in the newspaper. That's what he called it, entrapment.
Yes, it is. That's entrapment. Of course, he came back asking for crack cocaine, and you were able to get that for him?
I got it from the same individual, and I gave it to him. I got the money from him. I took the money, gave it to the individual. I didn't make a penny from their
transaction.
That happened in July of 2004.
Okay.
Now, during the time that you had asked me about the charges that they had against me, I was in a conspiracy. So we went to trial. When we went to trial, what happened was we had 4 beautiful black sisters. What they did was they didn't believe we were guilty. We had a mistrial. It was 8-4. The 4 black women held out. The other 8, they found us guilty. So we ended up with a mistrial.
Okay.
So we got the mistrial in like 2006.
2006.
So what they did was the judge said we don't have, but the prosecutor said we don't got enough evidence to charge charged him in a conspiracy. They severed me. When they severed me from the conspiracy, they tried me separately. That guy that I told you that asked for those drugs,
Right.
he was their star witness.
What?
Yes, man, but this is the thing about him. He got on the stand, and the lawyers made him look like he was just nothing because he had got locked up with 100 grams of heroin, and they were going to arrest his mom and somebody else, I think his wife or his son, and what ended up happening is he started working with them. They made him work with them.
Oh my goodness.
So he used me. He said, well, I know somebody, and he used me. From that point on, just so you would know how me and this young man met, and you know, I'm under that 3-strike rule. In 1990, I had 2 drug convictions. They were small amounts of drugs. The judge even said in the trial, look, that happened in the 90s. That's 15 years ago. Mr. Ray been well out of the way of law. Married, doing good and everything. But
Right.
the FBI and DA didn't care about that. They wanted a life sentence for the 3rd strike.
Wow. Here we are. Fast forward. What year were you incarcerated? In 2006?
And you remember I came in at 04, but
Right.
the two strikes happened in the 90s, okay?
Right.
The first two charges I got. Now, if you fast forward up to now, we go in at 04. 06, our trial end with a mistrial. Everybody is severed. With no more conspiracy.
Okay.
Because they don't have enough evidence to tie us into a conspiracy.
All right.
So when they severed us, I got a brand new trial. In April or May of 2007, that's when I was found guilty. I had full new jurors, and they tried to give me life, and the judge said something to the effect like, I can't get this man life. I know the trial. I know the course that everybody played because, he had to see everybody.
This is the Judge Williams, right?
Yeah, he had to do the trial for everybody separately. So
Wow.
he said that I can't give him life. I'm not going to give him life. So he gave me 324 months, which is still a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But at least having a life sentence. One thing about 324 months, at least you know you can live through that life. You're going to die in prison.
Wow.
And the feds, life is life. It's life without the possibility of parole. That's why I'm so grateful for Barack Obama.
Oh my God. You, me, and a whole lot of other people. Did you know right after the article was written on May 6th, which I did read in the Washington Post about you, May 17th, it's reported in Fox Business News, Sessions ends Obama-era leniency on sentencing, infuriating civil rights groups. Sessions is saying that these prosecutors, or the judges, even if they wanted to, they cannot give the sentence that they want to unless they get approval first by the U.S. Attorney General. What is your comment on that?
Well, this is my whole opinion of it. Remember I told you that Judge Alexander Williams we started as a conspiracy with 12 of us. So that means when we got severed and there's no more conspiracy, each one of us had a separate trial. So Judge Williams got to hear all 12 of us, except for the ones that took cops and the ones that became informed. He had to hear everybody's case. So when it got to my case, the judge was like, I listened to everybody's case. I know Mr. Ray don't deserve life.
Wow.
And they told him that you have to give him life because the law said it's called 851B. That's the statute.
Okay.
It's a statutory mandatory minimum sentence, and it carried life. And the judge said, I'm not going to do it. So he gave me 324 months and sent me to Supermax in Baltimore. I thought I was easy. And he told them if they disagreed with his judgment, then they could overrule it. They could appeal it. They went to the appeals court, and they had 5 days. On the 5th day, they came to Supermax and brought me back in front of the judge. I thought I was going to the feds. They said, no, you're going to be resentenced. So when they took me in front of the judge, Ms. Williams, the judge said, I'm going to put on the record for the Court of Appeal to know that I, in my heart, believe that this is cruel and unusual punishment. Mr. Ray does not deserve life.
Stay tuned for part 2 next week. The motivational quote for today: everyone deserves a second chance.
That's going to do it for this report. If it happened, if it's happening now, if it will happen, you better believe Betty Boop got the scoop. See ya later. Peace. It's time. time for Betty Boop Got the Scoop. Information about national and local entertainment. And now, here's Betty.
What's up, y'all? This is Betty Boo. This is a continuation of last week's interview with Evans Ray Jr., who was serving a life sentence in prison before he was pardoned by President Obama in 2016. We left off with him explaining the judge sentencing.
And they did, but like the judge said later on, he said, I'm a senior district court judge. I have to adhere to the law. But Mr. Ray, I'm letting the Court of Appeals know that you do not deserve life. This is cruel and unusual.
It's very cruel and unusual punishment.
Well, that's why him and I are advocating together now to let I want to help fight this thing that Sessions got going on with this mandatory minimum. And I want to also let the guys know that I left behind in the prisons, men and women, black, white, Hispanic. It's not about color. It's about these unfair sentences.
What are you doing?
Well, we're just trying to get our word out there. We're trying to get my face out there, the story out there. I was just on the steps of the Department of Justice last Wednesday for a rally that the ACLU had. They invited me, and I got to speak and tell my story out there. So I'm just getting it out there. We got to let it be known that we have to fight. We got to stick together.
Yes, you do. Yes, we do. Not you do. We do. We all have to stick together, and Betty Boo is so happy to have you to put this out there for you. Although WOL is in Washington, D.C., we're also on the World Wide Web, so your story will be heard by many, and do not be surprised that someone approaches you with some excellent opportunities. So I think that nothing but good things are ahead for you, Mr. Ray.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Betty Boo, Miss Williams, I would like to see if I could just thank the young lady that gave me a job. Her name is Tony Thomas. She runs a program called Community Empowerment Training Academy, and she helps young kids from 18 to 24 years old and adults in the city to receive training in B-Class CDL license, medical office assistants, and unarmed security guards. She blessed me with this job, and I have no experience in this whatsoever, but she leaped out on faith and trusted me, and that's what I want the guys know that come home. You have to stay vigilant and looking for work. There's somebody out there that's going to help you if you're sincere and honest.
That is just one amazing story. Lastly, Mr. Ray, what we haven't said to the listeners, tell us how you got out of your sentence.
Well, in April of 2016, Judge Alexander Williams wrote Obama a letter telling President Obama that he knew my sentence was unfair and cruel, and he said, I'm humbly asking you to commute Evans' sentence.
Wow. So
after he did that in April, I was feeling kind of antsy because in 2014, the Clemency Initiative started. It was called the PG-14, Clemency Project 14. And what I did, the judge wrote a letter in April. I wrote one May the 15th, just telling him that I'm running a bunch of programs in prison trying to help the brothers here, from NA, domestic violence, just all kinds of programs. Anything I could think of that would help us, especially the guys out of Washington. I want to help everybody, but, Washington, when they closed Lawton down, all of us went to the feds. So they need programs. So what happened was I wrote Obama May the 15th. Obama wrote me back June 25th.
wow.
And nobody, not even the staff there, could believe it. They were like, a big letter came, a yellow envelope said White House on there. And he wasn't telling me that I was going home. He was thanking me for writing him and his wife.
Wow.
I told Barack that I might not receive commission. I said, that's not why I'm writing you. I'm writing you know that I will keep on doing programs here to try to help the brothers and sisters here.
Okay.
He told me, he said, man, I appreciate your message and thank you so much. And he told me to have faith, Godspeed, and things of that nature. He just lifted my spirits up. I was so nervous when the envelope came, I couldn't even open it. I had to get somebody else to open it.
Oh, my goodness.
Because I thought it was the one telling me I was going home.
Right.
But it was just thanking me for writing him. So the staff there was like, how did the president write you? I said, I wrote him.
So that was June 25th, 2014, you said?
16.
2016. When did you get that letter that He did say you are going home.
In the month of August the 3rd. It didn't come like that. It came from a phone call.
It came from a phone call.
Yeah, they called up to the prison and they asked me to be in a room, I think at 1 o'clock. And I was like, I'm going to the law library. Because I didn't know it was the president. I didn't know what they were calling about.
You mean to tell me that you got to talk to the president?
No, I didn't get to speak to him.
Okay.
No, I didn't get to speak to him. A guy named Joe Battler called. I think he was from the Greenbelt Public. He's been working with me hand in hand with all these interviews and everything that I've been having about the story. What they did was they contacted her first. I guess somebody from the Department of Justice, I would assume, the Pardon Attorney's office.
Okay.
Her and her family were going, my lawyer and her family was going on vacation. They caught her right before she got on the plane and said one of your clients is going to get released.
Wow.
And from there, she said she couldn't even, she cried and she called my mother and then they told me at 1 o'clock, the guy said, is your name Evans Ray? And I said, yes, sir. He said, that life plus 10 years you had, he said, Obama has taken it away. You're going home December the 1st.
Wow. Did you break down?
I sat back in the chair, ma'am, and I was just, it was unbelievable. Still today, it's still surreal. I mean, things are happening. I'm coming around, but it's hard. Even the transition of, finding jobs and the social media stuff. When I came out, I see all these, when I left, they had Nextel phones.
Yes.
Everybody got their head down and their thumbs. It looked like zombies walking around.
That is true.
So it's just, it's an experience, but God did this. This was God made Obama a vessel. He made the judge and Obama a vessel for me.
Where did the Washington Post, they posted the letter that President Obama wrote you. Did you give that to them or they obtained that copy themselves?
My attorney, just like if you need anything from her, you can contact her and she'll most definitely help you out with anything you need. Got the letter from the judge, the letter from Obama, the letter I wrote, the letter he wrote back, whatever you need.
Evans, tell the people out here, what can we do for you? What do you want?
I'm loving my job that I'm in, but it's a non-profit organization, so there's really no benefits. I have to find me employment where I can take care of my 4 kids, 19, 18, 14, and 16, 3 girls and a boy. And I've been gone for 12 years and some change. I have to find employment. I want to start a non-profit organization, so I'm looking for anybody that has any input for me. I'm looking for anybody that needs somebody to come and speak. I don't have a problem talking to the kids, the grown-ups. I'm on all levels with this.
And I know some listeners out there, if they can't do it, they know someone who will be able to help you. And I would definitely put the word out of finding you that perfect job that you want. Don't be surprised you get some movie offers coming your way.
Guess what? As long as Betty Boo around, we good to go.
Yeah, there you go. In parting, what do you want to say to incarcerated brothers out there who might be listening?
I want to say it to the brothers and sisters out there that are incarcerated. It's hard behind that wall. We would lock down when it's time to go in at 8:45. My kids stay up longer than that. With me having a life sentence and so many other brothers out there that have them and sisters too, when you lock in that cell, you can feel that life sentence eating you up on the inside. You know you're going to die in prison. But I kept the faith, and that's what I'm telling the brothers and sisters. Keep the faith. Do not give up hope. Pray, get on your knees, humble yourself, whatever you do, but be sincere about it and never stop the fight. I stayed in the law library. You have to go to the law library because in everybody's case is a loophole, but sometimes you have to find vigilant in your battle about trying to come home. And for the families out there that have incarcerated men and women, please stick by your incarcerated brothers and sisters. They need it. It only takes a card. It don't have to be money all the time. Send a card. Send a picture. It goes a long way.
Motivational quote for today: don't let your past determine your future. Dream big, baby.
That's going to do it for this report. If it happened, if it's happening now, if it will happen, you better believe Betty Boop got the scoop. See ya